Hey, brothers and sisters, what's up? This is the Reluctant Nabi back again. All right, this is basically going to be a short video, not much of a hangout, but I wanted to do it this way because I wanted to show y'all in real time this thing here, right? And we have an onslaught by the media to make manhood just toxic, right? That's the thing. Toxic masculinity. You hear it all the time, right? Well, we are in a place in this country where the sense of entitlement and no accountability has so seeped into the female mindset that not even life is precious to them anymore. All right. Think about it. When you tell a female that, have no feelings about destroying a child that's in your womb, you know, you didn't like you didn't like the father anyway. And yeah, we know you didn't like the father, but you didn't have to be responsible for who you opened your legs to anyway. And you know what? We're going to absolve you from all responsibility and punishment, right? That you are entitled to your way. Hey, and just as to reinforce this, we have as your role model your mother. So look at how your mother treat the men. That's how you could treat everybody else, right? And that's the mentality that is being taught to these young girls. And now these young girls are acting out in such a way where we say that the brothers are going their own way. We are saying that it is dangerous for anyone to mess with a woman that has a child, a single woman with a child that she's raising by herself. All right, when we talk about the word toxicity, if there was a poster child for this, it would be this young girl who lost her life. And guess what? The girl that took her life is not even able to be pictured because she's younger. All right, so again, this is the Reluctant Nabi. Let me greet everybody real quick. Havorten Hardugudag Ola Oi to the Bang, Bosses Los, Bonjour mes amis, Kedu, Bawani Konnichiwa, Ni hao ni ama, Sani Bonani, Jambo Habarigani, Assalamu alaikum, and Shalom. All right, so basically, the things that are going on in the community behind no accountability for the females who would rather cuss out dudes that's trying to tell them the truth. It's no wonder that you're going to have you have a lot of stories like this already. But this one goes to show you of how out of hand and how out of control things get when you don't have a man around, when you just got the feminine minded who already believe that they are entitled to everything. Period. No accountability. None. They don't need no accountability. They don't have to have any accountability. That accountability crap is for everybody else. It's for the men's. All right. So let's get it straight. It's for the men's. It is not for the woman. Period. Right. And so that's where you just get these sad stories where especially the Afro children of today do not have a chance. All right. So in this whole story, you're going to be asking one question over and over again in your head. And that question is going to be, where were the parents? All right. So you see the story. All right. Let's take a look at the story. 14-year-old Texas girl sentenced to 25 years in prison for stabbing who? Her best friend to death. The story is by Kate Feldman, New York Daily News, 10 hours ago. All right. You know what I like about these live ones that I start putting it up? This is on MSN in news. It's on Google. You see all those commercials in the background? I wonder if they're going to tell me this is not suitable for advertisers when during this whole thing, we're going to be looking at advertisers. All right. So they set up a GoFundMe account for this girl. All right. And the story is a Texas teenager was convicted of stabbing a girl, her 14-year-old best friend. So this isn't any random person. When you look at the men that's getting upset, all right, they're taking out random people. And it's because this country has made it toxic to be a man. Period. There is no such thing as toxic masculinity. But when you talk about the conditions that this country has made for men, especially Afro men, then you get into this. And how do they do this? All right. They do this by elevating toxic women, and not even the good ones, just the toxic one, the very toxic. They give them the voice and they tell lies and do all these things. These children are watching these women lie on men all the time. These children see what their mom do. These children have the same mannerism and deal with adversity the same way they see their mom do. How do you think they learned it? Right? So Nyla Lightfoot died at John Peter Smith, JPS, that's in Fort Worth, Texas, on May 29th after a friend who has not been named publicly stabbed her in the neck. Okay, so the reason why we're hearing about there was a trial and now the sentencing came down as a result of this. The young girl, who was 13 at the time, testified in court that she and Nyla met at school, became like sisters. Wait a minute. Understand this. Became like sisters. This is the new feminine mentality. This is the new feminine mentality, the female mindset, where you will take out somebody you can see and consider a family member because you're upset at something little. All right. Let's see what caused all of this thing that would end somebody's life. All right. So she's a minor, so she wasn't named. She stabbed her friend that was like her sister in the neck and chest during a fight. So her and the young girl and Nyla met at school and became like sisters. They fought like siblings. And we all know that siblings fought a lot. All right. During their last fight, the girl testified. She said that she was going home for the night after the pool party because there were too many girls at Nyla's apartment for their sleepover and not enough room on the bed. The two fought over text about slamming a door and then returning clothes they had borrowed from each other. The accused girl claimed that Nyla then showed up at her apartment around 2:30 a.m. and they fought again. At that point, she testified she went inside, got a kitchen knife to threaten Nyla. I stabbed her and made the worst mistake of my life, the girl said, according to the Star Telegram. I wish I had been thinking clearly, but she's 13. You know who we wish could have been thinking like the adults? Her mama black. Why wasn't her mama black thinking clearly about intervening, breaking it? Oh, accountability. How come the mother is not being held accountable for the actions of her daughter? I pulled it out instantly and tried to stop her from running. The girl said she tried to stop the bleeding with a blanket and towel. Her mother came outside and saw them. She claimed that she considered hurting herself after Nyla died, but that her mother convinced her not to. That's believable. The thing is, with a 13 and 14-year-old, where are the mothers in the midst of all of this? Who lets their daughter go out at 2:30 in the afternoon at 14? In the at 2:30 night in the afternoon in the morning. She should be in bed. All right. After turning herself in to police, the girl also told officers where she left the knife she had used to kill Nyla. But the prosecutor ordered that the girl had issues with anger despite her claim that the stabbing was accidental. No, this wasn't no accident. Okay. And the prosecutor is right on this. When these women are doing things to people, it's not by accident. And it is out of anger and it is to get their way. There's no arguing what her intent was, Tarrant County Prosecutor Jim Hudson said, according to Star Telegram. When she came outside with the knife, she was still in control, but not even her friend could stop her. She was only following through what she had threatened twice. So she threatened to take her life, and she did it. She threatened to take the life of someone that she considered like a sister, and she did it. And no place was the mama involved in trying to subdue any of this, trying to calm all this down, use wisdom. And why would she do that? Why would she think that this was a good idea? Had she seen it before in her own household? She faced up to 40 years behind bars and was sentenced to 25 years in prison. She will serve 12 at the Texas Juvenile Justice Department facility till her 19th birthday. You spend her last birthday with us, Nyla's mother, Antoinette Carter, said in court after sentencing. I don't know how I come back from this. The girl's stepfather, not her father, the girl's stepfather claimed that the trial was unfair. Wait, was unfair is a girl died and was murdered. All right. So you got one teen that killed. So he tried to compare. He's not even a real father. Let's get this straight. So I felt like I think he felt like he had to say something. All right. He probably couldn't control the girl because he's not her real father. And because women can throw men away. Women can easily, black women have no problems throwing good men away. Just none. And then they'll go get somebody who's not a good role model because none of this would have happened had it been her real father. All right, had it been somebody like me, I had these situations. Oh, I ain't having it. And you ain't getting up and doing nothing at 2:30 in the morning. All right. And we're tired of this. You're saying that, oh, you let the white guy who was driving drunk after he killed 4 people, that may have been accidental, and you get him for all the rest of the stuff, and maybe he should have did some time. All right. He was driving drunk. Yeah, he should have did some time, but that doesn't excuse that his stepdaughter need to do some time. With parents like this, we don't know what kind of issue she was having where she felt like she could go, that the right thing to do was to threaten somebody to take their life and then go get a knife and do it. And only be sorry after you do it. That's the other thing about these women. The only time they have remorse, and we don't even know it's remorse from the deed that they did or that they're about to be punished for it. And that's the thing. At the end of the day, y'all, this was a really, really, really terrible story. It's one of them terrible stories that no one likes to talk about because it implicates the cash cow. And the sad part is this young girl lost her life because you got the entitled toxic mindset of entitlement and no consequences for the actions that permeates through these little girls' heads as they watch how their mothers deal with men, society as a whole. So these young little innocent girls, as they say, are no longer innocent. And you got to think about how far this decline is when they have no problem taking out a best friend that they consider a sister. Period. They have no problem with that. And we as a society are still running around and saying that the problem in these communities is, well, the men, they are the problem. Why are they the problem, ma'am? Because they're men. All right. And so this is where we're at, y'all. This is the pathetic state of what's really toxic in the United States. Everything is a scam to try to make men feel guilty for things that the females are clearly doing on their own. And when you really look at this, you see that even in the hearts of these young girls, even in the hearts of these young girls, there is no sense of real love there. Yeah, they shared a lot of stuff and they had fun with sleepovers and stuff. But really, to get to the point to take somebody's life over a disagreement because there wasn't a lot of room because too many girls came over for the sleepover. Wow. And so they get in a texting argument, and the girl decides to go over and give the other girl her clothes back because I guess they're going to absolve their friendship. And in doing that, loses her life because in this sense of entitlement, this girl gets to be as angry as she wants to be. And trust me, y'all, this is a lot of anger. I know this. I know this anger right here. All right. The man that her mom is digging ain't her father. Her home life probably isn't what she wanted to be. All right. And if you're judging by the statement that the dude made, I don't know how much of a man the men are these women are choosing. What we do know is they throw good men away easily. If you're a good man and you're talking to a black woman has no problem getting rid of you if you make her upset. Wait a minute. Ain't that what we see in this girl? If you get into an argument where you point out something that the black woman is doing wrong, she won't want to be around you no matter how good you are. And she passes that same mentality down to these girls. You don't have to stick nothing out with anybody good. So this was a good friend. They treated each other like sisters. And so as a sister, you decide to take her life. Where did you learn that mentality from? All right. And that's the sad thing about this. I can relate to the anger this woman has. Period. I can understand she's going to do time in juvie, and then after juvie, she's going to go to regular prison. All right. And at the end of the day, people are going to look at her as the girl that killed a best friend that was like her sister. All right. And here is the thing. As us good men kept pointing these things out, and as we see that this is the path of society, that this is what happens when women rule over the children only, then you come up with Isaiah. It says, as for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. They which lead thee cause thee to err and destroy the ways of thy path. We got a community where you got many so-called wannabe men are glad to be led by a woman, and the sellouts that are appointed by the Caucasian political system. When somebody tells you to think for yourself and do something different because what's been done ain't working for us, then they have a problem. All right. This girl thought nothing to go get a knife out of her kitchen to come and take the life of somebody earlier the day before that was like her sister. All this anger and entitlement that she had in her heart to do all this came from somewhere. And when you look at the somewhere where it came from, you got to look inside her own house, which gets back to my question that I asked when I started. Where was the mother? With that said, I'm out.